Hi everyone, this is Eugene, and I promised to send you some follow-up materials after my talk at Joey's Italian Grill, but I have to say, rather than send you slides, I felt like I wanted to over-deliver. So I apologize it took a little bit longer than just sending a quick email with slides, but I wanted to record for you a short video going over some of the high points. Now, as a speaker, I get a lot of positive feedback, and I really enjoy when I get a lot of positive feedback from a group. So I really enjoyed speaking to the group. I think there were over 100 people there. I got so many positive comments after the talk. I also got several thank you emails, and I really enjoyed the conversation. So this is why I decided to do a little video for everybody to go through some of the high points. This video is just for you. It's only shared with chamber members, but the idea is that I'm going to share with you some of the content that I shared before and maybe emphasize a few points, give a little tips, and there's a little special surprise for everybody at the end too. So let's start with some of the high points, some of the most important things that we talked about during the conversation. And I think we started with the conversation of three important trends, three important consumer trends that are really impacting what's going on with marketing today. So the first trend we talked about was reviews. So if you remember, when people used to get referrals to your business several years ago, 7 years ago, most of the time they would just pick up the phone, call, and try to have a conversation. In today's environment, that's completely changed. What happens is they Google you. And in today's consumer mindset, they're actually looking for reviews on your business. So what we found if the slides work behind me, this is great. But what we found is that there's 81% of consumers who are telling us that anytime they hear about a business, even if I refer my best friend to Joey's Italian Grill, what they're gonna do is, instead of just go to that place or pick up the phone and call and make a reservation, what they're gonna do is they're gonna start doing a Google search. And during that Google search, one of the most important things they're looking for is reviews. So the typical consumer is interested in finding anywhere between 4 and 10 reviews about your business. So one important point, make sure you have a strategy, a consistent strategy. This is not just a scattershot tactics where you ask a few friends, but you have a consistent strategy where you're asking people for reviews, and it's got to be part of the way your business functions every single day, whether those are emails you send out or whether there's a consultant who does it for you. It doesn't matter, but every single time someone transacts with you, they should have an opportunity to leave a review. And if you're not sure if they're going to leave a positive or negative review, there's got to be an internal email going out first, and I can elaborate on that a little bit further, but I just wanted to make sure you had that really important strategy. Another thing we talked about was video, but remember, the way we led into video was mobile. We have an insane amount of people using mobile all the time, and mobile traffic has surpassed traffic from other internet devices, from laptops, from tablets. People are on their phones all the time, and if you remember, one of the studies I cited was that 10% of the time that someone is on their mobile device doing their thing, and they're not talking on that mobile device, 10% of the time they're watching video content. And I even mentioned that the biggest converting tool, or the highest call to action, the highest converting call to action of 2015 was this play button that you should see right behind me. That was the big converting tool of 2015. And because people want to watch video, that is content that they can engage with. So again, one of the slides I promised to share, and I think that I think you should see it right behind me here, is what kinds of videos can you create? So customer testimonials, on-demand product demos, explainer videos, things that you get thought leader interviews where you interview someone who's an expert in their field, stuff that's important to your customers, right? You can talk about project reviews, case studies, little webinars, stuff like this, video blogs, any sort of event videos, just stuff to show your customers that there's more depth, more meaning, something else behind your brand. But also, this is the stuff that converts. This is the stuff that prospects click on so they can become customers. Hopefully that makes sense. That's a really important trend, and it's huge in 2016. We're finding insane conversion rates with people watching videos. Now, remember, we talked about how frequently Google is searched and how many search results there are specific for any specific search term. And the reality is that, you have to do something to stand out. You can't just count on, your SEO guy or somebody somebody, selling you that, oh, I'll get you number one on Google to just, do your marketing. You can't count on any of that stuff because Google's algorithms are changing so much. And we're actually going to have a video series coming out talking a little bit more about what's going on with Google. But Google's algorithms changed over 600 times last year. So you can't fall victim. Make sure you don't spend any money with somebody who's telling you that, hey, I'm going to get you to number one on Google. I'm going to get you to number one on Google. Unfortunately, those tactics just don't work anymore. So what does work? Well, we talked about it was a strategy, and the strategy that I shared with you has to be based on one big strategic goal, which is based in human psychology of building relationships. When humans have too much noise around them, they just, when they're completely bombarded with information, they kind of gravitate. Our minds take a shortcut and we gravitate towards what's called, relationship building behavior. So we talked about how it is that humans build the relationships in the wild. Talked about Mark Knapp. Mark Knapp is the famous psychologist who came up with the relational development model. And we talked about the phases that humans go through when they build relationships. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but this is a really important slide when we pair the types of things that humans do in the wild with the types of things that you should do in your business. So I'll spend just a minute on this. So the first thing that humans do when they look across the room and they decide whether or not a human should have a relationship with another human or whether they should consider having a relationship with another human, when they look across the room, that phase, just like that, is called initiating. So initiating lasts just a couple seconds and they evaluate someone on appearance or conduct. So that's where you as a website or you as a advertiser or you as a marketer get an opportunity to make a first impression in just a couple seconds. So this is the opportunity to catch their eye, and this is the opportunity to say appearance, conduct, and what's in it for you. The next phase is experimenting. This is probably when they're going to your landing page, to your website. Again, typically they're not calling you. Typically they're not having a conversation with you in today's digital environment. They're kind of snooping around in the background. They're reading the reviews. They're reading they're reading your social media profiles. They're reading they're reading the types of things that are available about you third party, and they might be reading the content that you've planted in third party areas or content that you've planted on your website. This is an opportunity for you to express some of your values, to deepen the relationship, to get them to go to the next step of the relationship. And that's where intensifying happens. Intensifying in the human realm is where you start sharing, where we as humans, if we're having a conversation, we stop talking about the weather and we start talking about something a little bit more personal, something that I might not want publicly available. And from a web marketing standpoint or from a marketing standpoint in general, that's when your prospect actually starts engaging you. They're not a customer yet, but they're really darn close because they're starting to engage you in a conversation, and that might be by giving you their email address so you can send them some valuable information. That might actually be by picking up the phone and calling, but can you say with 100% confidence that that call is answered the same way every single time in a way to maximize that level of engagement and to bring that prospect into the customer arena? And then the next phase of relational development is, of course, integrating. That's where the I becomes a we. So, of course, the customer starts transacting with you, and you just have to make sure that you deliver an outstanding, we call it a remarkable customer experience. And the next part is bonding. Bonding is an after the fact, right? They've purchased, but they have to believe, they have to remain loyal. And this is where you have an opportunity to follow up to the sale. You don't just run off and go get the next sale. You follow up to this particular sale. You follow up, make sure that their experience is good, that they're leaving reviews, they're leaving testimonials, and that they're bringing you referrals. This is a really great opportunity to encourage that. So this was a core component of the types of things we talk about. And it is also a core component of the strategy that I shared with you. Now, the strategic marketing plan, as an example that I shared with you, is right behind me now. I'm not going to spend too much time about it or talking about it, but the key is that all of the tools that you have available to you, whether they're Facebook, social media, other tools on social media, you have Google AdWords, you have traditional advertising, you have landing pages, websites, email marketing, phone scripting, all of that stuff is just tools and tactics, right? And the strategy is aligning those tools and tactics so that you absolutely get them to maximize each other and that they all perform together towards getting you more customers, more loyal customers, and the reality is that that would get you more profit and more opportunity to generate further profit. All right, so these are the things we talk about when we talk about strategy, right? Every little thing in your strategic roadmap has to fit well with everything else, and your strategy is truly something that gets everything in your business to work together really, really well and ultimately generate the maximum amount of benefit for your clients, your customers, and grow your business. Now, I told you there was going to be a little bit of a surprise in the end, and I've talked with Linda Reed over at the Chamber, and I'm happy to offer this to some of you, but only if you've watched through to the end. Now, remember, my team spends a lot of time researching all of this. We also have dozens of success stories across dozens of industries. We have the unique pleasure of working with so many different businesses and so across so many different industries that we gather this pool of knowledge, this awesome pool of knowledge where we know exactly how to grow a lot of different businesses, and we know exactly how to quickly and almost instinctively develop a really strong strategy for someone, or at least point out the holes where where strategic components are missing in someone's strategy. So here's the little surprise. Here's my gift to some of you. First of all, I really enjoyed doing the talk. So in exchange for some honest feedback, both about the talk that I did and also about what I'm about to share with you, I would like to offer you this. I would like to buy 10 of you 2 hours of my time. So that time can be used as you wish, and come in, take a quick tour of your facility, have a quick conversation with some decision makers, and then quiz you a little bit about your strategy and help you fill any strategic goals, help you address any of the strategic challenges that you're having, or even help you put together a strategy that works well for your business. Now, 2 hours of my time is normally $1,000. I'd be happy to buy that for you in exchange for two things. The first thing I ask is that you take it very, very seriously, that you take it as if you're paying that $1,000 for a highly sought after expert to come in to learn about your business and to give you some strategic insights. That means that we start on time. That means that the key decision makers are there. That means that anyone I need access to is there. And that means that you fill out a quick questionnaire so that I can come prepared and not just kind of looking around and wondering where I've landed. So the first part is that you have to take it seriously. The second part, and this is important for me, is that if you find that time valuable, and if you found your time at Joey's valuable as well, that you allow my staff to call you for a short testimonial after the fact, and you just tell us what kind of impact we've had on your business, or what kind of impact that strategy time has had on your business as well. That I will use for our archives. And I might use it to help grow the company, or to share with other people in your industry when we're looking to build our organization. So again, only 10 people are allowed access to this because I've only been able to open up 10 blocks on my calendar. And I would be happy, it would be my pleasure to buy you 2 hours of my time. However, in exchange, again, please just take it as seriously as if you would have paid for it, and to commit in the very beginning that if you find the time valuable, if you find the time useful, that you leave a fair and comprehensive testimonial with one of my staff so we can use it in our archives later. Thank you all, and I'd be happy to answer any questions for you if you want to fill out the form below.